Hey guys, today's Sunday, and that means hot and fresh off the press. So, Mandela has finally left the hospital after 10 days of being in there for pneumonia. He was finally released and is doing well. So, I know I talked about that, I believe last weekend or the weekend before, and so I just wanted to give you guys a little update and let you know that he's finally doing better. China released a statement in regards to the conflict that's going on between North Korea and South Korea in the States, as well as I'm sure at this point other countries are getting involved in dealing with this situation. So China says that it's pretty much only a matter of time before a war ensues. They're not really saying that it may happen, they're pretty much saying that it will happen, it's just a matter of when. So that's a little unsettling, but unfortunately I was kind of anticipating that, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't get too out of hand because when nuclear weapons are involved and, especially a dictator like North Korea's, sorry, I tend to mispronounce his name a lot, so I don't even try anymore. So I will just call him Mr. Dictator. So Mr. Dictator of North Korea seems to be stubborn, for lack of a better word, and he's like gung-ho with all of this. So I really don't see him backing down, considering he hasn't yet, and the states really generally aren't ones to back down either. So it's going to be one of those situations where unless some kind of resolution takes place soon, it's going to be like a fight to the death, and it's not going to be good for everyone. It's really not. So hopefully, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, as all of you should, that some kind of resolution can take place, because quite frankly, there's always been issues amongst North and South Korea, as far as I know, since like the 1930s, I think it was, or maybe after that. But anyhow, 1900s anyways, there was some conflict there, and they sort of agreed to disagree sort of thing, and kind of kept to themselves for the most part since then. Anyhow, the UN is still remaining as an active sort of a presence in North Korea, and like I keep saying, hopefully some type of resolution can can happen amongst the powers that be. So in other sort of potential war news, there may also be another Middle Eastern war that's going to ensue. There's more conflict between Iran and Israel, essentially, again, in regards to nuclear weaponry. Iran has been accused of covertly seeking the means to produce nuclear bombs. So Israel obviously is not very happy with this, especially considering they thought that they were the only, I was going to say country, but it's not, the only city in the Middle East that had nuclear arsenal. So they're pretty much saying that, like, if you guys have all of these, nuclear weapons, or you're trying to kind of one-up us, then, essentially they're concerned about their well-being and what that'll mean for them. So now they're seeing Iran as a potential threat to Israel, and it's never good, because once you're seen as a threat, then people start getting crazy and they tend to do things that, aren't necessarily the most, wise of choices. Anyhow, the next story I have for you guys is fairly close to home for me. I live here in Ottawa, and Gatineau is just sort of across the bridge from where I am, very, very close by, but it's considered Quebec. But there was a shooting that took place at a daycare in Quebec, in Gatineau. It's very, very close to home for me. 53 children under the age of 5 were present when this took place. They, and by they I mean the police, haven't released a whole ton of information because of the circumstances of the situation, but, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. But pretty much the way things have been stated to have played out is that a gentleman came into the home where this daycare was held or taking place, and shot one of the attendants or help um, in front of five of the children. Now, by the sounds of it, the five that it was done in front of were infants, and so there isn't a huge cause for concern, I guess, but there's been a lot of questions asked as to whether maybe some of the other children that are a bit older, that are more aware and could have seen something, whether, essentially they're going to need help to sort of process what they've witnessed. So still a lot of questions. Blah 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 blah. Sorry, I'm sure there's still a lot of questions that the police need to be asking the children, the parents. There being 53 children there, I'm sure it's going to take a few days, if not a little bit longer than that, to get through everybody and compile all the evidence and figure out where to proceed from there. So I will do my best to keep tabs on that story, especially more so for myself too, because I was given a lot of flack for a little while for not sending Devin to daycare. I have huge trust issues. I'm perfectly fine admitting it. I don't trust people with my child, and that's something that I know is a lot of touchy is a very touchy issue for parents. I know myself, being a young mother that kind of looks different and stuff like that. I already get judged based on things that I don't feel should be at all relevant. In regards to how I take care of my son, the way that I look really, plays no role in what type of mother that I am. So, anyhow, all of that aside, it's always a choice that you make. Anything that you do in regards to your child is a choice that you make. It's not a good or bad choice, it's just a choice based on your lifestyle. Everybody's choices are going to be different because there's so many different variables that come into play when you're making a decision, especially one that's going to impact a child's life. So anyhow, without digressing, I've always believed, and ever since I was very, very young, I always knew that when I did finally have a kid, I wanted to be able to stay home with him and be a stay-at-home mom for those years before he starts school, because to me, they're very, very important. They're very crucial. Those are the times when you usually get to bond the most, because it's not this, oh, well, that's not cool, mom, or, my friends are going to make fun of me if I hug you in front of them, or, you know, any of those little things that, those quirks that kids tend to get as they get older. So I've just personally felt that it's a great opportunity to take, and if you can take it, I made the choice of leaving a job where I was making a redonkulous amount of money a year, and, I wish I could have kept the job and, made things work, but I made that sacrifice. Granted, yes, there are some mornings I wake up and I definitely miss the job and miss the money, and, wish I, could have changed the clock around and remade the choice. But generally speaking, I'm 100% happy with the choice that I made. Yes, some days are difficult and we definitely struggle a little bit, but I'm very resourceful and I'm very creative and I make it happen. Our son does not go without a single thing. If anything, he is way too spoiled, in my opinion. Um, I mean, granted, we don't eat steak and filet mignon and lobster tails for dinner every night or anything like that, but we're a pretty happy bunch, and my son is living proof of that because he is like the happiest kid on the planet. So, obviously, I'm doing something right, and this situation that I just spoke of is living proof as well that you cannot trust anybody. I mean, your child is so important, and I mean, yes, some people can afford daycare and they can't leave their jobs and need to put their child in daycare. I get that 100%. Now, the only downfall to that is that you could have the absolute best daycare in the world, and all it takes is for those daycare workers to have really screwed up personal lives that affect their that then affect their work. And in this case, it's children's lives that were at stake because obviously something had taken place in the personal lives. Apparently, the theory at the moment is that it's a boyfriend of one of the daycare attendants that I guess was essentially out for blood kind of thing, and knew that she'd be at work at that time, and so that's what they think happened, that he went there trying to kill her because she left him, or they had separated anyways, and he wasn't happy with that. So he, if I can't have you, no one can have you, sort of thing. And now 53 children are, potentially scarred for life. And to me, that could have been prevented. I mean, I just, it's very overwhelming for me sometimes to think about those kinds of situations because I have a very simple I'd like to say I have a very simple-minded way of thinking in regards to it, but some people would think that it's almost unrealistic. But to me, it's just very practical. So many things can be prevented in life, and we don't because we get distracted by life, or we get, just distracted, period, and, things happen. But things don't just happen. I mean, coincidences really are not true coincidences. I mean, other things, it's like a butterfly effect, right? Like everything happened because somebody else made an action or a bunch of other people made choices that then, made where you are now what it is and the situation that it is. So I won't digress and get into all of those theories I have, but anyhow, in regards to daycare and stuff like that, it's times like this where I kind of pat myself on the back and say, good for you for standing your ground and, not letting people make you feel like you're a bad mom because you've chosen not to send your child to daycare. If anything, I feel like I'm a better mother because I've chosen not to send my son to daycare. Um, I don't, I don't feel that if you can take care of your own child, why shouldn't you? I mean, you're the parent, you're the one that knows your child better than anybody else, and if you can care for them, then you should. I mean, that's generally why people have children, is to take care of them and be a parent to them. So why, as soon as they're pretty much able to like fend for themselves, you send them off to someone else to do the parenting, to me is crazy. I mean, as soon as they start school at the age of 4 or 5, they're somebody else's responsibility for like 8 hours a day for 18 years, and you lose all of those moments. So it's just really great to enjoy them while you can, because there's so much that you end up missing that, those first 5 years go by so quickly, and you know what I mean? There's always going to be jobs, there's always going to be school, there's always going to be all of that after he turns 5 or she turns 5. So, take it while you can is essentially what I'm saying. I know sometimes it might seem silly, or it might seem impossible, or it might seem illogical to leave a job, so that you can make less or make nothing at all and struggle, but those moments are worth so much more than the job or the money or any of those things. It's one of those like MasterCard commercials almost, where like, yeah, all of these things add up to monetary values, but the time that you're spending building memories with your son or daughter, or just experiencing life with them on a day-to-day basis for 5 years when they're most vulnerable and they're most aware and they're most excited about life, is priceless. It's absolutely priceless. It honestly, like, it just makes me smile from ear to ear just thinking about all of the amazing things that I've been able to see my son do and experience so much with my son that had he been at daycare all day every day, he would have been sharing those with complete strangers, and they aren't in a position where they can videotape things or take pictures of things so that I can see those moments later. you're unaware of all of those milestones sometimes that happen when you're not around. And so anyhow, I digress again, and I'm tearing up and everything. So anyhow, I think you guys get my drift. If you can do it, I 100% feel like everyone should. So, and I just want to note, father or mother. I mean, some fathers take parental leave, and they do it as well. So either parent, if one of you can be home with your son or daughter when they're in those younger ages, it's the best thing in the whole entire world. And don't let anyone make you feel like you didn't do your job as a parent by not putting them in daycare. If anything, you've exceeded your job as a parent because you're keeping them safe and you're teaching them right from wrong. You're not letting somebody else do it on your behalf. So thumbs up to you guys. Now, last quick little fact, I guess I can call it, is that there's been some bird flu that has been noted in China. They're trying to remediate the situation as quickly as possible. However, 6 people have died so far, and I do a lot of online shopping where things come from like China and Japan and all of those Asian places. So I tend to get a little nervous that some of that stuff from over there, like the nuclear radiation or like the bird flu or things like that, are somehow going to get transferred through the packaging and all that kind of stuff. I know it probably sounds crazy and may not even be humanly possible because sometimes I don't know how those parasites and bacterias and such things get transmitted. So anyhow, hopefully I will not get the bird flu. But anyhow, that's it for me, guys. Sorry today was a little bit longer than usual. I kind of went on a few little rampages there. But anyhow, thanks for tubing in, and stay tubed for tomorrow's episode of Ashes Bashes. I think there was something else that I needed to tell you guys, but I can't remember. Oh, yes, sorry. Fantastical Fridays this coming week is going to be sort of a science experiment. So what I will be doing is on Wednesday, which is normally my day off, I'm going to post either a video or at least a written post stating what you guys are going to need to do the little science experiment with me on Friday. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm taking a biology course right now online, and one of the labs is like an enzymes lab where you test certain like household products that you have, and you test their pH levels and stuff like that. And I just thought it'd be fun to do for you guys / with you guys, so we can see, what different things that we have in our house that, could be a lot worse for us than we think. So anyhow, like I said, I'll be posting all the ingredients for you guys on Wednesday, so if you'd like to do that, then make sure to keep an eye out for it. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. Have a great day, guys. Bye.